What if sin doesn't actually exist? Now, I know that sounds like a pretty radical idea, but believe it or not, it's not a new one. Today, we're going to dive into a 14th century answer to one of life's oldest, toughest questions, and it all comes from a series of incredible mystical visions. You know this question. It's the one that keeps you up at night. If there's some kind of good and all-powerful creator running the show, then why is the world so full of suffering and pain and, well, sin? Where does it all come from? Well, one medieval mystic decided to tackle that question head-on.
Okay, so the first part of the answer comes to us from a vision they called the Third Revelation, and it lays out a view of the world that is, frankly, staggering. It's the kind of idea that can be both terrifying and incredibly comforting all at the same time.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The idea here is that absolutely everything that happens, every single little thing, is God's doing. Not just the big miraculous stuff, not just the good stuff, but the small, the random, the things you don't even notice, all of it.
This really gets to the heart of it. See, from where we're standing, life looks messy, right? It feels chaotic, full of random accidents and wrong turns. But this vision says, nope, that's just your limited perspective. It's like we're seeing the world through a keyhole. From the divine point of view, there are no accidents. There's only a perfect, flawless plan guided by a loving will. And that leads to this just wild conclusion. What we call chance or an accident is really just our failure to see the bigger picture. In this worldview, there are literally no mistakes. Every event, every single moment is a necessary piece of a perfect design.
Okay, and this is where the idea gets truly mind-bending. Because if God does everything, then what is sin? The vision argues that sin isn't a thing that God makes. It's not a deed. It's more like an absence, a void. It's something God allows to exist for a much greater purpose that we just can't see yet.
So that's the big philosophical answer. But the mystic's vision doesn't just stop there. The fourth revelation comes along and offers a totally different kind of answer. This one isn't about logic. It's about a powerful, gut-wrenching symbol.
The vision starts right here, with this incredibly brutal image of suffering. The mystic sees the scourging of Christ, a moment of just pure pain and violence. And at first you're thinking, wait, how does this fit in with a world where everything is perfect and part of a plan?
And the text does not pull any punches. The language is graphic, it's overwhelming, and it's supposed to be shocking. But the key here isn't actually the violence. It's the word abundantly. It's about the sheer quantity of what's being poured out.
And here's the pivot. This is where everything gets turned on its head. The vision takes this image of ultimate pain and completely reframes it. The point isn't the suffering, the point is the precious plenty. An act of horrific violence is transformed into an image of superabundant, overflowing grace and love.
The text actually gives us the secret to understanding this symbol. It says, hey, think about water. God made it plentiful all over the earth for our bodies, right? Well, the holy blood in this vision is even more abundant, and it's infinitely more precious. And it's for our spirits, specifically for washing away sin.
And this just brings the whole thing home. The answer to the problem of sin isn't just a philosophical idea, it's an infinite, overwhelming force of love. It's like a tide of grace so vast it can wash away every single sin that has ever been or ever will be committed. It's an ocean that completely swallows the problem whole.
So what do we do with all this? We've got two huge ideas, a world without any accidents and an endless ocean of grace. But how do these, 700-year-old ideas actually help us make sense of our lives today?
Well, when you put them together, they kind of offer a three-step way of looking at the world. First, you just have to acknowledge that what we see isn't the whole picture. Second, you start to reframe everything, even the bad stuff, even sin, as part of a hidden perfect plan. And third, you embrace this incredible idea that there's a cleansing love out there that is way, way bigger than any problem.
And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on. It's one thing to think about all this stuff in theory, but what happens when you try to apply it to your own life? I mean, what if you truly started to believe that nothing is an accident, that even your biggest struggles, your deepest hardships, are serving some kind of higher purpose? How would that change the way you face them? It's a challenging idea from the past that, man, still feels pretty provocative today.